Do you know what I'm thinking? Let's see if our first guest does. Welcome to Fox 8 News Now. I'm your host, Casey O'Day, and our guest is celebrity mentalist Nicholas Gentry, the intellectuals illusionist. He's a mind reader and illusionist who specializes in everything entertaining intelligent adults. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I feel very welcome, and hello to everybody. Nice to be here.
So what does that mean, the intellectuals illusionist?
The first person to say that about me was actually like a really blue-collar guy. He came to one of my shows and he said, you know, the great thing about your show, and this wasn't me bragging, it was him, it was the best review I've ever received. He said, the best thing about your show is that you don't have to be smart to enjoy it, but you're going to feel smart by the time it's over. And then he said, you know, you should call yourself something like the intellectuals illusionist. And at first I hated it because I thought, well, that sounds kind of alienating. People are going to think I'm some kind of a snob. If only they knew how many dad jokes I tell, they wouldn't think so. But it kind of stuck. And I'm sticking with it simply because it fits my personality. I have a background in academia. I used to be a philosophy and rhetoric professor. I've taught at Carnegie Mellon, Duquesne University, a few other places. And also because I feel like it distinguishes me, you know, because at the end of the day, magic tricks are magic tricks. You're used to those. But I try to give it some kind of a theme. I try to make it mean something when I can. Not all the time. I don't overdo it, but, you know, just a little bit, just a little touch.
Well, you are a very distinguished gentleman. And how does one go from being a philosophy major and professor to illusion and magic?
Well, it turns out that being a philosophy professor and being a magician slash mentalist are about equal on the scale of practicality in terms of life choices, right? So, you know, fist bump, you know, you and I are neck and neck there, you know. We have you majored in communications. We were talking about that before. I majored in philosophy. And then I went and I got a master's degree in rhetoric. And frankly, I would have to be a much better rhetorician than I really am in order to make that sound logical or explain it, because I don't know. But I taught English composition for a while at places. And then I decided, you know what? I've been holding on to this dream for my entire life. And there's a long story that goes with that we don't have time for, but maybe I'll tell you, you know.
So you grew up always wanting to be a magician, an illusionist, because an illusionist is a magician, correct?
An illusionist is a magician who knows how to spell bigger words, Casey.
Nice.
Yes. It really, if you say you're a magician, so many people, they imagine that you wear a top hat or that maybe you wear clown shoes or something. So I started calling myself an illusionist, as pretentious as it sounds, simply because I don't want to be mixed in with people who do kids shows primarily.
Well,
that's
no,
not me.
And yet you have little fuzzy creatures right here on the table.
Those are for you.
Yay!
Yes, well,
I'm
one of
fond
them
of
is for
little
you.
fuzzy creatures.
Yes, and I am too, aren't we all? But one of these is for you. You just don't know which one yet. But
all right, that's good. So how do you do it? How do you become an illusionist? How do you, I assume that you take all that past in philosophy, or does it get to imbued in what you do?
It starts off when you're 8 years old and your cousin gives you a Fisher-Price magic set. Well,
nice.
At least that's how it started for me. I did my first little magic show in the second grade for Miss Smith's second grade class. I had a little wand with a flower that popped out of it. I was, of course, awful. And then I kind of let it go. During the time when most people are building their careers in their teens and early 20s, I was doing other things. Believe it or not, this person that you're looking at, I've been in a death metal band. I was a Peace Corps volunteer in Ghana for 2 years. I taught English in Japan for 3 years. I even represented the American Red Cross of Alaska on television just after college, like 2003 through 2004. I've done a lot of stuff when I wasn't doing magic. But then later on, I thought to myself, why not? YOLO, you only live once. Let's go for it.
So they say.
And that's how you and I made our appointment today. We've had a rendezvous with fate, and here we are.
Here we are. Yeah. And now they say, instead of you only live once, the new way to say it is do it for the plot. So
amen.
We're going to do it for the plot. Coming up, we're going to have a little demonstration of some of your illusions, and I think that's going to be a lot of fun.
I'm looking forward to it, that's for sure.
I know. Do I get to touch one of those little furry critters?
You're going to get to touch all three of these little furry critters.
That's all coming up on Fox 8 News Now. We'll be back in just a bit.
I've always believed that we meet our fate by using our free will. Philosophers have argued about that for centuries. The difference between free will and fate. Is every step you take already predestined from the beginning of the universe? Or are you making free choices right now? Well, there's one more step to find out, and this is Casey O'Day.